Alright, how's it going, Stopde Nation? So it is Stopde here, and look what we got in here today. You can see we have our very first Stopde t-shirt. We got the logo, the original logo right here going on this t-shirt. You can pick up your very own over at Society6/Stopde. I'm going to put the link to it in the description below in the comments. You can click there, go and visit. They ship worldwide, and I'm going to give you a little overview. You can pick whatever color you want. You can see basically what size you want, all of those things on the site, so all of it's done for you. And then what you can also do is some days they have free shipping, so wait for one of those days when they got free shipping and see if you can get yourself a bit of a deal on that, discounts and those kind of things. Just for signing up, you get 10% off for signing for their mailing list, those kind of things. So there's all sorts of ways to get some discounts going on it. But basically, if you want to help support Stopde Nation with some Stopde t-shirts, make sure you go and check that out over there. So yeah, I like how they came out. Happy with the work that they did there, so I'm excited to share this with you, and let's get into this video and let's show you some coin making strategies, because you have been asking for this forever, for a long time. Now there's a lot of things around this. We're going to talk about the big thing we're going to talk about today is basically the intro way of sort of making money. So if you're looking for me to reveal a whole bunch of sniping filters, probably not the video for you, because to be honest, if I released a whole bunch of sniping filters, they would no longer really be any valid anymore, because all these people would watch, got a couple 100,000 people watching it, using them, and then they're not really very valuable sniping filters anymore. So what I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to show you how to make your own. I'm going to show you how to build your own sniping filters, because if you got your own sniping filter that nobody else knows about, it's going to be very valuable to you. And I'm also going to show you, how you get to that point, because there's no point giving a sniping filter you need 300,000 coins if you don't have 300,000 coins. So how can we get to that point? How can we build that up? And there's going to be one big word here, and that's you kind of got to do some grinding. So in this, this is how I really started off with the game. So when I was, back before, obviously now, when I open bundles and these kind of things, I'm going to get the players, and if I buy it with FIFA Cash, I don't put coins into them, so it's basically pure profit whenever I sell those players. Now, this is, yeah, so if you sell the players, you get millions and millions of coins, and we do massive pack openings. This is how we can do all of these massive pack openings. But part of that is, it's as it always has been, it is always for you. I'm always, we want to build up these pack openings and these massive pack openings, buy the teams, show you theme teams, all of these things. So that's it's totally worth it. It's 100% worth it. But yeah, I probably could have a really big 100 overall, 101 overall team, but you know what? I would much rather show you video after video of all the new packs, all of these things, than keep for myself this awesome team that I can play with the whole time. So we're gonna keep doing that. We're keep doing awesome pack openings, big pack openings, and stuff like that, and build up our team kind of slowly but surely. We got Griezmann. We got a lot of 99 untradeable players that we can't really sell for coins anyway, so we'll keep them on there. So that's one thing you can do. You can open packs. You can get coins from that. But if you don't want to put money, it's a free to play game. So you can play this game without putting in money, and you can actually be very successful. I got a lot of friends that are playing this game, never put a penny into this, and still got amazing teams, and able to get a lot of coins in the game. And here's some ways we can do it. Here's some of the ways that I made coins before I started, because yeah, I played it before I started doing YouTube on it and opening bundles all the time, and this is one of the biggest ones. This first one is one of the biggest ones to do, and it's going to seem pretty obvious, but play attack mode. Attack mode is got to be one of the best ways to make coins in this game, because look at this. We just finished the game, 368 coins. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but for 2 minutes of gameplay, you play 100 games, which you kind of have to do if you want to get to FIFA Champion. You play a couple hundred games. You probably play closer to 300 games a season, basically, when you're going into there. And if you play 100 games, that's 30,000 coins, 36,000 coins that you can get. And that can really get you started, really help you with the filters and those kind of things. So playing attack mode is going to be a great way to do it, and it caps it. You really only have to score 7 goals, and then it won't go any higher than that. So if you want to get some coins that way, that's a good way to do it. Also, playing the live events, every time you play the live event, the first time you get the most amount of coins, so 120 plus a 245 win bonus, it adds up, right? Every 10 you do, that's 3,500 coins, so it starts to add up big. Seasons also, and the nice thing about seasons, you can play the seasons. You'll see I have a lot of losses. Well, there's a reason for that. It's because what you can do is you can go into the season, you can let it autoplay, and once you've hit the required amount, so the 40 wins that you need, you go in and you can just forfeit the rest of them, and you still get the tokens at the end of the season. So play what you need to get the 40, and then after that, you can just forfeit the game and you can move on to the next season, because it doesn't really matter as long as you hit the minimum requirement for that season. So we'd go in, let it autoplay, that's 800 coins without really having to do a whole lot. So lots of like ways to sort of build that up. But then the big part, and this is the part that I think a lot of people kind of turns it around and really gets them going, and the people who are amazing at building coins are the people that can like rock these strategies the best. So if we're going into it, the biggest one here is in the market, and you can go to the search. This is where we can build filters. So filters are like the best way to make coins in pretty much any of these games. Now it's risky. There are like, you can think that you're doing it well, you can think, oh, I'm getting a great deal, I'm gonna be able to sell this player for so much more, but let me show you something. So we're gonna look up one. These tend to be popular ones for this, but the Team of the Year players. So if we look up Dani Alves, we can see here that he's got one going for 1.6 million. So if I kind of look at this quickly, I can be like, wow, 1.6 million. The closest one to that is 2 million. That means I'm going to make 400,000 coins if I buy this Dani Alves and resell it. Well, the thing you got to be careful of is nobody has bought any of these Dani Alves cards. This has been on for a whole bunch of time. These have been on for, if this is at 5 hours, it's probably been on for about 6-7 hours already, and nobody's bought it at 2 million coins. Nobody's bought it at 1.6 million coins in about 20 minutes. If people aren't buying it right away, it's not going to insta-sell. Things that like go and like get sold like right away, like it's been up for like 358 and then it's sold, those are the things that are going to be selling a lot more. But you got to be careful with it. Same thing like with trophies. Like in a lot of cases, it looks like things are getting bought for a lot more. So a trophy, you may be like, oh, a bunch are selling for 24,000, but you may not be able to sell it for 20,000. So you got to be careful. You got to kind of watch it and then test out the filter, right? Try it on one. Don't go and be like, I'm going to buy all of my elite trophies and see that it works, because the market is always changing. So you always got to be wary of the market. And I think that's the biggest thing, and why it's so important for you to build these things yourself, because it looks like, okay, it looks like it's going to be good, and then all of a sudden the next day it's like, okay, I can't sell any of these things. So the quick trade over is what you want. You want to make your buy now to a place where it can sell right away so that you can make that quick profit back. One of the good ones for this Team of the Week, whenever Team of the Week comes out, the players tend to go for, especially the higher league players, go for a ton. If you can get those and resell them, those are really big ones that you can put in. So the big thing with that is, all you got to do is you got to type in the players' names. You got to type in what player you want to find. You got to type in their overall. So one of the ways that people like to snipe is to go in like 90 overall and put 200,000. Let's see if there's any that go for 200,000. So we got here, you can see that's okay. Well, we got 90. Let's go 94. How many 94s for 200,000? None. All right. So if I refresh this page and a new 94 overall player drops for 200,000, there's a good chance I'm gonna be able to make some profit. And how you can really check is go up. So let's say I go for 400,000. How many 94 overalls go for 400,000? So we can see there's a couple. So what you can do is, okay, well, there's only two right now that are going for over 400,000. Now, both of them, you can notice, are the center forward position. So what you can do is you can say, okay, well, what if one of those comes out? I don't really want one of those. So you can go into your positions and you can click attack, midfield, defense, and take off center forward, because now none of those players are going to show up. So this is basically the start of a filter. We no longer need to worry about those players showing up, because they're not going to show up. So right now, if I go up to 500,000, I can see right there that that's when my next player is going to show up. I could take that off as well or whatever. But if I right now am at 300,000 and a player shows up, no matter who it is, for 300,000, I should probably make about a minimum of 200,000 coins. So this is a basic filter. This is one of those ones where you could get lucky because someone's, done with playing the game or whatever it is, and they just put a player for a ridiculously large amount or under amount of money. It happens. Sometimes maybe they were doing like a challenge, a discard challenge, that they were like getting rid of the player. And these ones tend to be the hardest ones to get, because it's the one that like everybody's on. They're like, okay, I really want to get this player for super cheap. But every once in a while, it's kind of like the lucky snipe, right? Those are the snipes that people post those on Reddit. They post them on Twitter. They're like, look at the snipe I got. I got a player for 300,000 coins and it goes for like 2 million. So the chances of this happening are pretty unlikely. If I was to do this, probably this video would be, 24 hours long before I actually got a player that was that good. But if you got a lot of time and you want to keep going through it, you can build that up. So the better ones tend to be, especially if you're starting out, how do you do it for ones where I don't have 300,000 coins. I want to do it for less money. I want to do it for 2,000. Gold players and silver players, there's a big trick with that. And one of them is look at players. Let's look at here, Walcott. So if we look here at Walcott, I think it's 78 overall. So his 78 overall card goes for, okay, it must not be 70, it must be 79. 79. His 79 overall card, the left mid card, goes for 19,000 coins. Most 79 overall cards do not go for that. You can see they're going for 5,000, they're going for 2,000. So what happens sometimes is people, if they get a whole bunch of gold ones, they don't want to look up every single player in the auction house, so they just list a whole bunch of players. So you probably have a bit better chance of getting like a Walcott, say, for 2,000 coins than you would for getting a 94 overall for 200,000. Because most people are going to look up their 94 overall player and find out what it goes for. They're like, okay, I want to know. But not everybody is going to notice, hey, this player is going to go for a lot. And especially big names, big teams, those kind of things, those are going to be good ones that you're going to want to do. So let's look at another filter you can set up. And one of them, we can do like a team-based filter. We can do a club-based filter. I'm going to do Arsenal. Obviously, there's a good reason why I want to do Arsenal. I love Arsenal. So here we go. We go into Arsenal. We pick up Arsenal. We see all the players that Arsenal has. Now, I'm going to skip over the bronze ones. Bronze ones you could do. Pick them up for cheaper as well. Maybe get them for 100, but bronze is always a risky business. So we go into our gold players. All our gold players are going to come up. Now, I'm going to set this first to 2,000. So if I set this first to 2,000, you can see that I have a whole bunch of players. Well, actually, only one player comes up. So Jenkinson is the only one that comes up here. 72 right back. So as I was saying before, well, that kind of makes me think that this is probably his right wing back and his right back position, maybe not going to be the best positions for me to use. So I'm going to take those off so that way he doesn't show up. And then I'm going to raise the price. I'm going to raise it to about 5,000. Well, 8,000. Okay, we'll do 8,000. So 8,000. 8,800 apparently. So now we're going to go in here and we can see a few more players. Center back, center defensive midfield, right wing. These are players that are still going for this price of 4,000, 3,000, stuff like that. So if I want to take those off, I can also take off some of those positions. So if I take off my center midfield, take off my center back, now I've only got my right wings, my right right wing, right mid. So take off my right mid, right wing, and center defensive midfield. So if I take off all these positions, now I have a lot less positions. So I have Welbeck here, and he's the only one that I got. So I could do here, he's going for a minimum of 8,000. So even if he does pop up, I'm still probably going to be able to sell him. So what I do now is I lower my range. I go down to about 4,000. And now that I have it at 4,000, doesn't matter who I get, I'm probably going to make some good coins. And if I get lucky and that player happens to be, an elite player or something like that, I'm going to make a ton of coins on this. So you may even get lucky with these ones to get extra things. The other thing you can do is you can add in letters. So if I don't want to see any of his cards, what I could do is I could say, well, I also don't want to see any of his cards. Let's go up to 9,000 here. And if I don't want to find his card, put in a letter that doesn't involve him. So maybe we put in O. So here we go. We put in O. We go up to 20,000. Let's see how many are going to show up if we do 20,000 here. So we got Walcott. He's the only one that's going to show up. At this point, we probably could just put in Walcott because we've already put in. But if you pick different letters, you can isolate the players you want to see. So play around with it. See what players are going to look good. See what players are going to get you money. The other thing, you can expand this even more. Instead of just doing Arsenal, I could do all the Premier League teams. If I put all the Premier League teams in, now I'm going to have to expand my filter a bit more and see which ones. So take out the ones you don't want, put in the ones you need. Maybe there's some teams in the Premier League that we don't really want on there because there's so many players that are clogging it up for that level. So what you want to do is, okay, well, there's a bunch of lower players. Let's go to 75. Let's only look at the 75 players, or maybe let's only look at the 78 players. And now we can see there's a lot less players going. So there's a lot less players going on in here, and not very many at all for less than 10,000. So let's go 8,000 here and see how many players are getting sold there. So you can see we're starting to narrow it down to less players because it's an hour and 55 minutes. So when you're going through it, go through, pick the players, start. So start broad and then start to narrow it down, cut off things that don't matter, cut off positions that don't matter, and all of that. So we can also add on elite players. Now, a good idea is to add on elite players. If you're doing gold players, you probably should add elite players on as well. Because if you're putting that on and an elite player shows up, that's awesome. So if you're making your strategy and you're like, okay, well, I just want Arsenal, like we were doing before, go here for 8,000, and I have elite players on an elite, Walcott's like 94 overall card shows up, it's going to show up and we're going to have a chance to get it as well. So the other way to do it, and part of this, you can see not a whole bunch of things are coming up. So the more broad you do, the better it's going to work. And the biggest one with that is look for new promos. When new promos come out, players tend to go a lot higher, and then they drop very fast. For example, when the new World Cup qualifiers came along, the flags were going for about 20,000 a piece, 25, like there were some upwards of 33,000. I sold all mine at the start for 33,000, 30,000, and then within 20 minutes they'd gone down to about 20,000. Some of mine didn't even sell because they dropped so fast. So that's where it's risky. You don't want to, oh man, I'm going to buy them really quick and I'm going to sell them back. But if you can get them for really cheap and quickly sell them for way under the limit, you're going to want to go way under what people are selling for so that it sells immediately. Because if you're like 6,000, 7,000 under what other people are doing, that's going to be it. So try and like get a price point that's going to allow you to sell it instantly. Because Insta sales are the best way to make profit because you don't have any of that turn. You don't have any of that time. You got to wait. But basically, this is the intro to sniping. This is the first sort of tips, tricks about these kind of things. And the biggest thing, be careful with it, test it out on a smaller thing, then build it up, and make your own. I know there's it's tempting to be like, okay, I want to go find someone else's filter, see what they use to be successful with, but the best way to do is just have that filter that you can work awesome with, that you built out, and it's fun too, right? Like it's kind of the fun part of like sniping is coming up with your own filter. Man, I got this filter that I know it works awesome. I found this team that nobody knows about, this player that nobody knows about that goes for a lot of coins, and then go with that. Silver players too, lots of silver players, but silver players be very careful with because a lot of times people do not actually buy the silver players for the prices. There's some that go for 2,000 coins, but nobody ever buys them unless someone comes along and is like, oh, I really want to do a national champion because I'm opening 20 national champion packs, but that doesn't really happen too often. So be careful with it, have fun with it, and those are the big things. So concluding this out, make some money with attack mode, make some money grinding out the game, playing live events, selling players, those kind of things. Maybe open a pack and hopefully get lucky with it. Those kind of things. And then the other side of it, once you get to a point where you got some coins going on, play around with the market and don't be afraid to lose because sometimes you will. Sometimes you're not going to make a lot of coins on it, sometimes you will, but kind of have fun with it, play around with it, and yeah, there you go. Thank you for checking this out and thank you for stopping by. Hopefully this helped a bit. We'll make sure to kind of expand on this maybe in the future as we move forward and things happen, but it's been a pleasure as always. Stopde.